Slide until the landslide in a Masicka, but nobody make we have to choose side, brother. Cause me I tell you, now go work out in your favor, and I know I just me understanding the music. You so me I go work out in your favor, me general. You so me I say, yeah, cause you are going now. Cartel now have the time to take up a clash, so the pushing of that energy there, nah go on. Me no go on. No matter who the guy. Man, we have name a call more than fear try. This is where me I come from. So that now go happen for you. The only thing it going to lead to a division in the camp. And no for genocide fans them, a Gaza fans believe one whole heap.
Masicka the dancehall crocodile and Kartel up here. Crocodile teeth. Uno don't grimy frosting. Uno no bowl like we full of gun every teeth. With a crocodile teeth. Yeah man, so as I say people, be things are going on on the internet, and before I share my opinion, you see me, this is just strictly my opinion because this is my channel. But you don't know, say we still have to be logical, even though we are opinionated, and we have to use facts as well. So to say Masicka and Jashii combined together is nowhere near Kartel level, or the history that Kartel created through his entire career, is a factual statement. It is a factual statement. So right there, so where a clash is concerned, Kartel now got engage Masicka or Jashii in a clash, because Vybz Kartel has always been a champion of Masicka. Vybz Kartel been championing Masicka and him career. Vybz Kartel give one of Masicka earliest, one of the biggest looking at Masicka career, one of the earliest look when Vybz Kartel and Masicka say infrared and the whole place go crazy. That was one of the songs that helped cemented Masicka career to the level where that one I song will kick off the door for Masicka, you see me? Even though he had hit songs before that, but that was one of the main one. And we just see Vybz Kartel and Masicka recently at the Atlanta show, and Masicka performed very well. Vybz Kartel gave Masicka big props and stated that White is his favorite song of Masicka right now, and Masicka brave and Masicka talented. So with all of that being said, where Masicka and Vybz Kartel is concerned, it's very unfortunate, but the lines have drawn. Yeah man, there's a clear line in a song right now. So there's something going on behind the scenes. You see me? There's something going on behind the scenes, and don't get me wrong, not saying Masicka need Kartel, you know. Masicka no need Kartel at this point in his career, I think, because Masicka is an established artist. However, Vybz Kartel need Masicka either. You can see the great things of Vybz Kartel do locally and abroad, across the world, internationally. You see me? But right now, there's a clear split where genocide is concerned, and there's a clear split where Gaza is concerned. I think what started it was the whole king talk. Yeah man, the whole king talk. Masicka say, I am my king, I am my body, son. Genocide fans say a Masicka king and a Masicka body, says me. And the mass consensus said that Vybz Kartel is the king. You see me? So it would seem as if Masicka is rivaling Vybz Kartel. You see me? From his point of view, from genocide point of view, that's what been happening. But the Massa say no go so. You see me? And Gaza is the biggest fan base, and Gaza say no boy no fit to be the king. If on a Vybz Kartel, a big man, a Vybz Kartel, a man, so is a disrespect for any other else artist apart from Beanie Man and King Yellow Man. You see me? An artist were forward after Vybz Kartel for call himself king. Dancehall and Gaza fans and the massa say, watch you know, Beanie Man was the king, Yellow Man was the king, now Vybz Kartel are the king. So anybody after that can't be king. So I feel like say, alright, then so all of this problem start. All of this problem start based on the king thing. And now Vybz Kartel was officially crowned on Reggae Sumfest night, and we hear Jashii's statement pertaining to the king talk and the whole of that, you see me? So it would seem as if it's an ongoing thing where Masicka and Jashii them camp is concerned, where problem in a discussion, or probably that's how they naturally felt about Vybz Kartel being crowned the king of dancehall, because that never called for, you see me? What Jashii come do, he never called for, and Even if Masicka no 100% agree with it, the mere fact say him call out Jashii, it aga fall back for Masicka. You see me? It aga fall back for Masicka. And let's get into the Jashii situation. Jashii is basically a talking junkie. Yeah, man, I saw me save Jashii right now. A talking junkie. Jashii said the same thing about anybody who bring him up on stage. You see me? Jashii mouth put him career right now in a stagnant state. Well, he might be not do that. Cause him forward out and this Shabba ranking and them man they set the thing for dancehall. You see me? Them man they first artist who win Grammy. Dancehall artist, them man they first artist who win back-to-back Grammy. You see me? So from him do that, him career just went downhill, the hype, you see me? And you have remember say when Jashii drink up a rum, you know, him talk a bag of foolishness. You see me? A bag of foolishness. Cause him say, Popcorn, I'm mentor, I'm idol, I'm God. A them man them look up to, a them man them I greatest. Then me see him go up on I don't a show, I don't a call him out. Me say him must say I don't a baddest, I don't a inspiration. No, he must tell Masicka say, Masicka the baddest thing ever. You see me? Him not have a mind on him own. It's just that anybody who can call him out on a stage, and that him a go on with. So where Jashii is concerned, Jashii is such a non-entity when it comes on to Vybz Kartel or what Vybz Kartel has contributed to dancehall or Vybz Kartel career. Me do Jashii have 100 fans. Me not think Jashii have 100 fans. And don't get me wrong, people. Jashii is a very good artist, but him not dep on a level. Jashii is not in the top 50 greatest dancehall artists or the top 100 greatest dancehall artists. Him not dep on a certain level for you get involved in a certain things. But as you know, you see the clout and the hype, cause I him we are talking about right now. I him everybody are talking about. And a long time people not talk about Jashii. You see me? A long time. So make us see how I capitalize on this. But trust me, people, it's not a good look for see Gaza and genocide split. But watch out, it's needed at this given point. Cause you have to know where you stand, you see me? And the people have to know where you stand. So Gaza I gotta represent for Gaza right now. Genocide I gotta represent for genocide. And as me say, me respect Masicka. Masicka one of my favorite artists. But a Gaza me grew up on, a Gaza me say. You see me? And it was Gaza genocide, you see me, officially between Kartel and Masicka. So most Gaza fans say Masicka and most Masicka fans say Kartel. But right now, the two of them not good, you don't know the thing split. But watching the people, I still gonna listen to Masicka. Masicka is still one of my favorite artists. But I just Gaza me say. You see me?
We have on the line here Keith Gardner. For those of you who don't know who Keith Gardner is, we should tell you he was the Assistant Commissioner of Police, retired now Attorney of Law, Director of Security for the University of the West Indies. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Stephen Razor.
you know me go call you by your right name.
You were from there, you were on the same side of North Street as I was, just Blake Road and Tex Lane, and I'm up on you.
You serious? You serious?
But of course.
All right, we want to tell the people them say a whole time Trinity this, you know. Police that was feared by criminals all over Jamaica.
Yes, indeed.
All right, me could get into it now. Past Assistant Commissioner, you see we are going now. Is there any difference between when you was Police Commissioner and now? I mean, in terms of criminal activities.
Difference. From time to time, you know, Muta. We used to have crime waves, right? In the earlier days, when you were going to school, you hear about a crime wave, crime escalate, and then they have measures, maybe stopgap measures, and it decreases, and so on. Now, you don't have crime waves anymore. You have a constant flow of crime across Jamaica, and the nature of it is of such that it diminishes even the toughest of persons, right? Attacks against young girls and the misogyny against women and the sheer brutality, you know, with which the murders are committed, beheading and that sort of thing. Yeah. So the cries of the people are out there, and it is going up to the Father, you know. And it is time for something positive to be done now to ameliorate all of this.
All right. As we are saying, as a past assistant commissioner, I have to make people know that, and you know that.
Yes.
Trinity was a feared policeman all over Jamaica. When criminal hear the name Trinity, it's like, yeah, all right, no, we're not going to make him come in over here, we have to start on Christian. So, if in a year time, the criminal did fear the assistant commissioner, so it would appear to me that it's either that different breed of people, or is that there's no one there that command that fear. When them hear a commissioner name or assistant commissioner, there's no one there that command that, respect and fear in the hearts of the people. Why is that?
Let me tell you something. First of all, in the 60s, and don't forget that in 1976 alone, twice as many policemen were killed than was the case last year. 13 policemen were killed. I was shot and seriously injured during that year.
Yes.
But the kind of criminals that you had at that time, Muta, you would have recalled Dennis Bart, Copper, Morrison, and them guys who had escaped from death row, right? And were really wreaking havoc. I've often said that Copper's mantra was that, boy, the only people in uniform that him like was doctors and nurses, right? No, honestly. But those were callous guys. But callousness wasn't the order of the day. I remember in those days I could line up 25 men, each holding out the other in the waist. And it was a state of emergency, right? Remember now. So we have special powers. And take them to station, process them. Those who were innocent, we let them go. And the hard heads we would take in. I remember one of the times, we had a group of men along Olympic Way. And one man was at the head of the 25. And he said, listen, I don't know about you, but I will make a dash for it as soon as we reach the corner, Mao Drive.
Yeah.
And the man holding him said, well, listen, you can't stay there, hold on, because it's a Trinity bullet, them take corner. So, that was a legend.
It's like a missile. It's like your bullet is like a missile.
Yeah, so people really, and I never really had to use deadly force at the time because the reputation assisted.
Yes,
so people hearing about this now, not going to take any chance. They're kind of different here now, whereby the people are younger, right? They weren't exposed to any nurturing. And they start off from the younger days. I don't know, Muta, to what extent you have been in the inner city, especially around Trenchtown and Rima, Wilton Gardens, and them places where you see the little girls carrying baby. Every one of them from 12 come up, 2, 3 children behind them and thing, and them don't know where them baby father is. The baby father themselves are 15, 16-year-old, and the only thing they know is about the gun and violence. So it's a different kind of thing. And I'm cold because the young man say, listen, I'll make some up tonight, Right? They used to talk.
So like you're up to date, man. You're up to date, man. So like you're up to date.
I'm a man who go in Trenchtown regular,
Yeah.
I used to go down there every year and when I had my security company, I'm fully truck by 100 pounder flour and tin oil, big tin oil, and me and my children, and we go and give everybody a bag of this and let off some money and thing. I still go up there sometimes, 13th Street, 14th Street, them guys raise chicken and, sit down and all the vibes. So I know what is happening.
Well, may I tell you something, Trinity? When me and you tell me hear the name Trinity, I'm afraid too. I mean, never did I do that.
Well, I tell you something, Muta. Sometimes I have been at the stage that I am now, at my age and thing, and I look back at some of the things that I do. I say, boy, it's crazy because sometimes I chasing some gunman, and believe me, without a single thought about what can happen to me. And that was what happened to me in Rima, chasing a man and him go in a room and I start kick off every door. And by the time I reach the 3rd floor, is that open fire. And before I know it, 4 of my teeth them lick out and the man behind me get a shot in the belly and jump the 3-story floor down into the thing there. Down on the ground and thing. I had to, race and hold on upon him, put him in the Jeep and drive, go Kingston Public where I pass out. So it's them kind of thing going, you know what is hardful? where I was shot, I was born only about 100 yards from there. You understand? So
Which
you
part
should
that?
the
Which part?
people.
Which part?
No, at 4th Street there, in Winterling Garden.
Yeah.
I remember I born at 1633 Trenchtown, you know.
Yeah.
Right? And stuff. So that is the kind of situation. So these guys nowadays, as I say now, them man are in a voter. When them man get high, first of all, them man drink white rum straight. Because we used to know all the substance that them use to preserve dead. That's what the man them drink, right?
Embalming fluid.
Yeah, and them when them wrap the weed now, them wrap it in them use grabber.
Yeah.
And some of the grabber are soaking and redering and things.
Yeah.
So you know when the man draw that, you know, and drink the white
them feel like them
invincible. We're not talking about the use of coke and all them things there, where they might use a seasonal split. So some mad people are not taking a talk.
Them feel invincible, man.
No, a man sit down and drink, come in a bar and sit down, and him sit down and drink 2 rounds of liquor and just pop off, right? And before you know it, 4 man dead, including, and 5 man dead, including himself.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing where we're looking at a man kill a man and cut off a head.
Yes, and still have him face.
And then the little pit them have there run up and down with it. That's the kind of thing where we have, and we're talking about facts.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you something now. No, you see, we say, if you was the assistant, if you was the commissioner of police now, what would you do, or what would you suggest now to the present people them who is in charge for really a long-term stemming of this crime?
I'm going to answer your question, Muta, but if you know me, I always like set the pace to answer the question.
Okay.
First of all, I must establish my qualification to answer such a question. I was Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of operations in the Commissioner's Office for Jamaica. I reported to a Deputy Commissioner, right? And on occasions, every morning we'd go up and report what transpired the night before and thing. One time I go into the Commissioner's Office, that time Mr. Forbes was Commissioner. And I asked him, I said, you send a detective to be in charge of a certain critical police area and thing. And boy, boss, he asked me my opinion. I tell you, I question that. Why? And the man reaching him, drawing him, right on top, draw out a list of every officer in the force and say, look at this. Which one would you send? And believe you me, Muta, I was quiet because the man at that point. If to come back to your question now, if I were a commissioner of police, and let me tell you this, those days are long past. Those ambitions have died. I'm no longer interested in becoming commissioner. I'm just being vociferous because I, like other members of civil society, I'm fed up with what is happening, right? Were I to become commissioner, the first task would be to clean up the force. Too often, police commissioners come in and they tell you what their doctrine is, what their mission is, and they tell you about corruption and going to clean up the force, and how many police officers you see them dismissed. So the first challenge was to target those who we have intelligence on that are involved in criminal activities, present the evidence, because listen, there's a public interest aspect of policing, you know, where you retire man in the public interest. And I've seen them retire deputy commissioners of police, superintendents of police, and that hasn't been done in the longest while. That kind of thing must be generated by the public service and by the police commissioner who forward the evidence to the Police Services Commission, who do not act suo motu. I've said they don't act on their own motu. The Services Commission can't say, listen, I'm going to fire Keith Gardner from the force, you know. No, it must be activated by the commissioner who report that this man is involved in nefarious activities, you know. And this is the evidence, that is the evidence. And I think that him should be retired in the public interest. The rule of natural justice applies. Them call you, them point out the things to you, and give you an opportunity to be heard, and make a determination. You're out. You have, of course, recourse, right? You can always apply to the Jamaica Privy Council, and the Constitution makes allowance for that and thing. And if they think that it was unfair and unjust, then you get back to work. But I think right now, too much friendship going on in this thing, and man covering up for man, and the time has come now, like, for men like me to talk.
Yeah,
I just want to present one example to you.
Yeah.
I was in Area 1 as Assistant Commissioner of Police for Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland, right? And I got information that a certain police officer was corrupt to the bone. I took him off frontline duties and have him doing station guard at Area 1. And I went away. I went on leave for about 6 days. And as soon as I leave, they put back the man on frontline duty. You know what happened? Police from another jurisdiction set up a roadblock and hold him with 4 illegal guns. And there's evidence to suggest that he must take it to the stone crushers. Right? He's in prison now doing about 12 years and he should be doing 24. Right? So that is the sort of thing that we need to deal decisively with. All the senior police officers who have evidence that policemen are involved in criminal activities. And usually them don't just get up today and say, I'm going to do it, you know. Somewhere along the line, they have displayed that those traits to dishonesty. I've suggested that even at training school, you must start look out for them.
Yeah.
Right? And that is the gist of the matter.
All right. You know, Trinity, a former commissioner, I think it's Dr. Carl Williams, when he was demeting office, him say one of his greatest disappointment was that him couldn't get to clean up the police force more. And what we find out since that day, we find that more people start to talk about the corruption in the police force. With the people them that talk about it from a long time, because that is why the police, the information that the police need in a certain community, them can't get it because the people them don't trust the police. And the people them have been saying that over the years. Now we say, man like you and others are come out now and say, there is a problem with the corruption of the police force. So, why is it so difficult for, like the Minister of Security and the Prime Minister and the government, why is it so difficult for them to understand that one of the chief problems, the wall that is between trying to alleviate the problem and make the problems there is that the police force need to clean up? Why is it so difficult for them to understand that? Yes.
It's not just now I talking about police corruption and leaking out against it. You know. If you look at the Gleaner Archives, 1999, while I was at the Keville studying law, I wrote a damning article, you know, deal decisively under the caption, deal decisively with corruption. No. And that was over a decade and a half ago. Right? So it's not now. The last substantive post I held in the Jamaica Constable was the Assistant Commissioner in charge of disciplinary matters, right? So I deal with discipline. When a man is accused of murder, for example, and the file is sent down to DPP, and the DPP rule that the thing is not substantiated and thing should either be sent to coroners or whatever. Or in instances where policemen are reported to be involved in criminal activities, whether it's physical force that is undue against a citizen or not. The DPP might suggest that there's no criminal charge founded, this must be dealt with departmentally. The files are sent to me, right, and I draft the suggested charges and recommend to the commissioner that these charges be made against this constable or this officer, right? I have yet to see any of them going down. Of course, against sub-officers where court of inquiries and so on are sometimes instituted. Yeah. But in terms of officers going to service commission and being retired in the public interest for corrupt activity or for not doing malfeasance or misfeasance in office, I don't know of any that has been sent from the service. I remember one last one was Albert Richard, who was superintendent of detective superintendent of police, and I'm going to call the other people because they're alive. That is what we want to see. We need to send a message. The commissioner's talking about them never get any chance to do that. That is a fallacy. Right? Send the report and send the men down to the service. You know what? We're blaming the service commission. we don't give them the work to do, and then when you give them the work to do and they don't do it, they're criticized. Unless those charges are sent down to them and they're allowed to convene, because they are the ones who are responsible for appointing commissioners, for dealing with discipline in the police force and so on. If you don't give them the grounds on which to found the charges or inquire into the charges, why you turn around and blame them? It creates a misunderstanding or lack of understanding of the role of the Services Commission.
Yes. All right. Indicom. You think that Indicom is an obstacle in the work where the policeman is supposed to do?
Let me tell you something, Muta. As a crime fighter, and I was alone. My best friend, my sidekick, started in 1976. Remember, I joined in 72. When I was sent to commissioner's office and that notorious squad, I met my best friend and fearless crime fighter, Mr. Osborne, right? And we together did a lot of work. This man was never recognized. I mean, I've been given the Medal of Gallantry, Medal for Meritorious Service, and Mr. Osborne has not been acknowledged to this day by any government. The work that I have done and been given credit to, I could never have accomplished it without him. So I want to really shout him out and pay respect to him.
Yes.
But the point I'm making is that, things and times have changed. Right? And whoever is going to be commissioner now, we have proven and demonstrated to the public that we lack the will to deal with this thing.
You're talking about the police force. You're talking about the police force.
Yes, within the force. Everybody, the squad thing. But this man is my squad. And by the time I had 10 years in the service, the whole of my squad mate had gone, So I don't really have any squad. And I was never a popular man within the force because I was a disciplinarian. If you're an officer, you must take command your division and do the things that are necessary. I was an avowed supporter of Mr. Quayle, and he's a good man. Nobody can doubt that. Nobody can say he's corrupt, right?
Yes.
But all I'm saying is that his Christian attitudes led him to read the Beatitudes, right? And not to be assertive in taking action. Nobody is suggesting, and those times are long gone.
Trinity.
Yeah.
Trinity, he's a poet, man.
No, but you can't go to
Christian
attitude. The Bishop Gibson and Douglas Forrest are not their poet. I learned from people like you as well.
That's funny. Repeat that again. It's Christian attitude. Make him read the Beatitude.
Yes.
I was not able to.
Hey, Muta, you're too young to know about Bishop Lawrence. He was a corporal of police, but him traveled in Bible. Right? And him police trench down here alone, in uniform. And when him catch you doing something wrong, at that time, ganja was mandatory 18 months if you caught smoking it. Him not going to lock you up. Him call you and read the scripture to you and make you say the Lord's Prayer. Sometimes on the knee. Nothing was more embarrassing than that. You understand?
That's
but
funny.
those times are long gone. We need God, yes. But as I often say, we're in a room. We're like saints in a room. Darkened room. I will sit down there and pray till you sweat for God to send man of light from heaven. When all that was needed to be done was for one of us to reach up and just hit the switch and turn on the light. We need a commissioner to hit the switch. Right? Somebody who don't have any friend and in the squad with them can go to and say, well, the boss, I've sinned and give me a chance. Right? These are serious times that call for serious measures. And I don't see anybody. People might be upset with me. Yes, there are some younger men coming up, some men and women coming up who are equal to the task, but they are not yet ready. They are young. They are brilliant police officers. Yesterday, I listened to the swearing on of some police. 200-300 police officers, and listen to the diction of the officers from the training school, and I was shocked. They sound like academics, right? Very, very brilliant, very, very articulate, and I know that these people are up and coming, and I'm hoping for the day that they'll take charge. But right now, neither the first or second tier I'm seeing anybody that have the will to take on what is happening in here.
But I know. Say you stay far from the Ministry of Security.
No. Listen. You see, from 1993, you know that I was Siaga's bodyguard for 8.5 years, right?
Yeah.
You see, from Colonel Macmillan call all the policemen that they serve labor rights and all those that they serve PMP, because I'm smart, you know.
Yeah.
What he did was to send out to the GLP and say, give me a list of all the policemen who are political. And him sent to the PMP and asked them to give them all list of those who were political. So all the so-called JLP policemen and all the so-called PMP policemen were called down to Ellison Road at a gigantic meeting. And Colonel Macmillan said, listen, I believe in second chance. I don't know whether what is being said here is true, but I have a list of all of the policemen that they say are political. Some of you appear on 2 lists. Right?
Yes.
And the 2 lists. It's either they are not political or perhaps they are freelancing, right? But you see, I was told that in 1993, you don't catch me going and getting involved in any kind of politics or associated with politicians. Not that they are not good, decent politicians, but I don't want my name to be associated. I'm a political orphan. I learned my lesson then, and from that on, I was a reformed police officer. Not that I'm working with the Prime Minister for the 8.5 years we were involved in, but we were seen or perceived to be. You can't beat perception, okay?
I know you take sleep on my
I need a turnaround.
Well, all right, the last question, you know. The movement and the state of emergency. How you view them? Yeah,
but hold on. Muta, you don't let me answer the question you asked about.
The minister, but you see a talk and you can't clear a Siaga.
No, in the
it come like you move around.
No, I'm not moving around. Let me tell you something. You must have some checks and balances, right? Where the social conscience is not within the organization, you must have a watchdog. And I remember for years, the only watchdog we had was Ronnie Tweet and Public Eye. You understand? You must have somebody where you think about before and think of the consequences of your action before you engage in it. And the Jamaican human rights people were there, right? Flo O'Connor and others to keep us in check. When you have crime fighters, it's all good and people talk about death squads, you know. But you kill a man, right, who you know is a murderer and maybe him shoot at you and whatever. But if you continue to do it, the first time it's very difficult, the next time it becomes easier, right? And it is easy to fall into that abyss. So when you start killing innocent people, what are you going to do to the wicked? When you start kill criminal elements or you start murder them, what are you going to do to the innocent man who's a witness, a bystander? You're going to kill him too? You set off a chain reaction. And that is why I believe there are some people who have demonstrated over time by their vicious and villainous actions that they are not worthy to remain among us. They are civil members of the society. But it can't be, I don't believe in either state-sanctioned killings or in the death squad kind of thing.
But we see,
one point that is needed to be made, Muta, if you allow me to say it. You see, when we clean up our act, when we clean up our act in the Jamaica Constabulary Force and increase our capacity to investigate and present cases before the court and secure convictions, where are you going to put the prisoners? Because we're against building prisons.
Maybe I have to go back to Britain for building
prisons. 1976. What is going to happen? Where are you going to put them?
We have to call upon Britain for building the prison.
Well, all right, Muta. These are food for thoughts, you know. Because we have to think ahead. We have to think outside of the box. But you're asking me a last question now. What to think about Zoso?
Zoso and the state of emergency.
You know what I mean? Severe circumstances call for severe measures. And I don't even want to say severe. You see, Muta, what is happening? We know that we know about the social contract, right? When as societies develop and we recognize the necessity for our family and our property to be protected, it was necessary to put the strong people in charge of protecting the village, to protecting the community, and so on. And a price had to be paid. Those of us who in those ancient times used to go in the fields and gather or plant or hunt saw the necessity to protect them against marauders, right? people who invaded and took away the women and children.
Yeah.
And there was a cost to pay for that. So those of us who went into the field left something for the ones who remain at home as payment.
Mm-hmm.
And as we develop now, we know that we have to give up certain social rights, right, to have policing in order to secure. That is the price we pay for our democracy, our freedom. So now, with all the murders, that couldn't be allowed to continue unabated. So the little inconvenience that many of us face, right? The curtailment of our rights, freedom of movement, freedom of association and all that. The sooner we get the thing together, with everybody jumping on board and supporting instead of some staying one side and criticizing. The sooner this thing get done,
Yeah, better.
You know?
Well, give thanks,
It's a pleasure talking to you, bro.
I know a whole heap of people, but I can tell you something. A whole heap of people listen to you and say, we never know the Trinity is still alive.
Trinity alive and well. Yeah, and when I'm gone, long after I'm gone, the legend will remain.
All right, of course. I tell you, as a youth,
I'm always a fear man, and listen to me. I have not gone around and fracture relationship between decent people.
Yes.
My target was always the dangerous and vicious gunmen.
Right,
people might talk about, well, this one take this life and take that life. It's 5 different times I go near death.
Where you get the word Trinity? Where you get the name Trinity from? There are 3 different places one time.
No, both I know why already. No. That comes from the spaghetti movie. It points my death. People used to say that I'm a marksman.
Yes,
I don't know how true that is, but it comes from that.
Yeah. All right, sir. All right, give thanks.
Yeah, give thanks. Thank you for having me, brother.
Yeah, man, I did. Yeah, that was Keith Gardner, man. Elias Trinity, Assistant Commissioner of the Police, retired Attorney of Law, Director of Security for the University of the West Indies, giving his really experience and views about things and times and where are going at so now as it relates to the traumatic experience that Jamaica got through.